God the Father. And it's kind of a joke. It's kind of a joke. I said, drop daddy, Puff Daddy. That's so stupid, Puff Daddy. Puff Daddy, what? So I said, drop daddy. And then, like a week later, he switched it to P. Diddy.
I am so mad and upset at myself for... We ever gotta go bowling?
No bowling, so don't do that. Oh, that's autism.
Okay, we going? Look at my hair. Looks like that guy in, what was it? Home Alone? Well, I'm back at the motel. Just, I got out of the hospital again. See, I just took a piss because I didn't want to have to take a piss while I was recording this because you didn't want. I could just tell you I just took a piss. Well, anyway, so I was at the hospital. We eat pretty good there. Swear to God, 2.5 footers. You know when I was talking about 1.5ers? I swear to God, many 2.5ers, not just 1.5ers. These things were like 2.5ers. But we couldn't have our cell phones in the hospital because I don't know why they wouldn't let us use our phones in the mental health ward. Anyways, I gotta find my glasses because I got more to blow your mind as I am claiming that creation is impossible. Part 2. All right, let me get my reading glasses. Where are they? These are the. This is the last. The last time. Last time I went to the hospital, I wrote these. These are the new ones. But the time before that, not the last time, because the last time were these. I'm gonna read these, and these are the second time I went to the hospital. Not the first time I went to the hospital. First time I went to the hospital, I just quit drinking. Second time I went to the hospital, I wrote this, and then the last, I don't know if it's the last time I went to, ever, time and space, broken simulation, they say aliens might be able to time travel, but anyway, so the last time I went to and that's what we're going to read. I'm going to do my hair so I look attractive for the ladies. Oh, I got a new joke. I learned this one just on the porch over there. He's like, okay, I learned it from Leroy. From Larry. Larry learned it from Letitia. So, that's pretty. Anyways, I can't see with these glasses on. Alright. Creation is impossible. Part 2. So I was going to talk about the time where I was being attacked by the rabbit in Monty Python's Holy Grail. Okay, so the rabbit is, it's like, the cable box or the internet router. And it's like the dangerous rabbit that kills everyone. You have the Knights of the Round Table. So anyway, so I turned off the router and I got Grandma's boombox, okay? I got Grandma's boombox because I didn't want to be attacked by the rabbit router that killed King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. So I turned off the internet and I got Grandma's boombox. And I just so happened to catch a commercial on the boombox for St. Michael's. I was like, wow, that's pretty funny. And then they're like, it's a bar in Navarre, and they say they got a beer that gives you superpowers. And I thought that was pretty funny because my middle name's, that's the whole thing I'm talking about. My name's Adam Michael Carr, and my grandparents live in it. But I was drinking so many beers that I had magical superpowers. Now, St. Michael's Brewery in Navarre, the bar there where my grandparents used to live and we'd visit when I was a kid, they had beers that give superpowers. So I thought that was funny that I turned on the boombox when those commercials, because I was listening to the internet router rabbit murderers. But anyway, so that's pretty cool. It says, thank God I was up for a week. Thank God I was up for a week in my parents' big old White House hearing the thing in my ear and thinking I'm on cocaine, maybe. Up for a week thinking I'm on cocaine in my parents' big white house. Scared of the rabbit router and finding out that St. Michael's Brewery has a beer that gives you superpowers. Anyway, so next story. Eric Reeder. Okay, Eric Reeder was this man. He had a tumor in his head and he couldn't see out of his left eye. And it's because he was on trimectin or something. It was kind of like the thing that you're not supposed to say that you can get at like Family Dollar for really cheap. You know, like remember, I need about $3.50. You remember I need about $3.50?
What on earth is that creature?
It stood above it looking down with these big red eyes.
Oh, it was so scary.
And I yelled, I said, "What do you want from us, monster?" And the monster bent down and said, "I need about $3.50.
Well, there's a reason why he only needed $3.50. Well, anyway, so that's all I needed back then either. Well, Eric Reeder, he moved in when all I needed was $3.50. So Eric Reeder, not to be confused with Derek Rader. Okay, so Derek Rader is a mass murderer who he did surveillance. Derek Rader, he did surveillance, and then he like got sick and tired of the people that he was setting up cameras for, that he murdered them. And then like surveillance. So he knew all about surveillance. His name was Derek Rader. He was the mass murderer. Now, Eric Reeder lived below me in the fucking haunted apartment. I know this one guy named Nick who kind of looks like Derek Rader, the murderer. And he actually introduced me to Eric Reeder, which was the guy that lived below me in the haunted apartment. So that's kind of funny. So Nick looks like Derek Rader, the mass murderer. And then Eric Reeder was introduced to me by Nick, who lived below me, and he had he couldn't see out of his left eye because he did some sort of cough syrup or something. Number 3. And then bunch of shit happened, and I made it through somehow. I don't know. It's too much stuff. All right, so Devontae Adams. So number 3, Devontae Adams. Okay, so this is what happened. Like this is okay. Jesus Christ. When Jesus Christ rose on the 3rd day, he took the snap and he tossed it on a sweet out pass to Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams makes a brilliant catch. Takes it all the way to fucking pay dirt. So, Devontae Adams, number 17 of the Green Bay Packers, with, the priest, Aaron Rodgers. Okay, so Devontae Adams was number 17 on the Green Bay Packers. He gets traded to the Raiders, the Oakland Raiders, and his name's Devontae Adams. So, on the back of his jersey, it says Adams. Now, Derek Carr, I don't know what his number was, but Derek Carr was the quarterback for 1 year for Devontae Adams, after Devontae Adams left Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. Okay, see, now this is where it gets tricky, because I played football for the Crystal Lake Raiders, and my number was 17. Yeah, my name, on my jersey it said 17 Carr, because my name's Adam Michael Carr. Devontae Adams had 17 on the Raiders because his name is Devontae Adams. And he was the receiver for Derek Carr of the Oakland Raiders. Anyway, so Fat Baby. Oh, this is a great one. Okay, so back in the day when I was learning to play guitar, I was playing at a place called the Cattle Club. And I did long songs. It spanned it was one song. I never stopped. I kept switching the songs. I got it really good. I was really good. I didn't know how to play guitar. I wasn't very good, but I really worked hard. It was pretty good. Well, I have this. Well, you can't see it. It says Baby A. Okay, so Baby A. I got this tattoo on my arm. You can't see it because I got all this clothes on. When Janet Jackson lost her titty at the Super Bowl. So Fat Baby. So when I played guitar at the Cattle Club, it was Fat Baby. I was known as Fat Baby because I had the Fat Baby tattoo. All right, Joey Coco Diaz. Okay. Believe it or not, if you've been watching Joe Rogan, they sometimes talk about this. So, Mitzi Shore, she used to call Joey Coco Diaz fat baby. Interesting. You know what's also interesting? Okay, Joey Coco Diaz's mom died 3 days before I was born. I don't know, it's 3 or 4, 2, 3 or 4. She died 2, 3 or 4 days before I was born. Joey Coco Diaz's mom, when he found her in the kitchen when he was tripping acid and she had a purple arm. And November 10th, there was an accident in Canada where there was this chlorine train wreck. And then if you see the very end of the news broadcast, it kind of looks like the Baphomet. The chlorine train wreck of November 10th, 1979. A couple days after Joey Coco Diaz's fat baby, his mom died, and right before I was born. Okay, Tim Tebow. Okay, so. Alright, so Tim Tebow played guitar for Led Zeppelin. No, that was... Who's that guy? Jimmy Page. Tim Tebow played football. Oh, but I'm ahead of myself. I got my wisdom teeth out. And... and 3 days later, I had Lortabs, and then we went out and I got a bottle of Long Island iced tea and some spice, some Wicked XXX original flavored spice. And Tim Tebow, so I fall asleep and I wake up and I have a dream that says, well, at least I got to be a witness for Christ. And I go upstairs to my parents and I was like, you guys will not believe what I just dreamed last night. And they're like, we don't want to hear it. I was like, no, it said at least I got to be a witness for Christ. And then they're like, and I was like, why won't you believe me? And then I was like, I want to go home. I want a pack of cigarettes. I don't care if I get infected with my fucking wisdom teeth. And so I go get a pack of cigarettes, and then I look on the internet, and Tim Tebow throws for 316 yards, 31.6 yards per pass, and then something else. I had a dream the night before that said, at least I got to be a witness for Christ. So I thought that was pretty crazy. Here's another crazy one. So back in the day, I didn't know how to play guitar. So, 8 Mile came out. You know that cool movie with Eminem with Lose Yourself? You only get one chance to drop, and if you don't, take it to the top and rip it down and tear it apart. We're gonna stop you. We're gonna stop you. We're gonna rock and roll you. But you gotta keep it up and never quit, because, man, it's the Blitzkrieg Kid. Anyway, something like that. I don't know. I wasn't playing. I need the music, and then I can lose myself. Well, so we're at Drop Daddy. So, all right. So I was typing on my computer my lyrics, White Boy Sparkles lyrics. When I was 8 Mile and didn't know how to play guitar. And one of them I say, Drop Daddy, because my name's Adam, and I'm the Father, God the Father. And it's kind of a joke. It's kind of a joke. I said, Drop Daddy, Puff Daddy. That's so stupid, Puff Daddy. Puff Daddy, what? So I said, Drop Daddy. And then, a week later, he switched it to P. Diddy. Okay, in that same room where I said Drop Daddy and Puff Daddy went to P. Diddy, I had all these Christmas lights, all around in my basement room. And I did a Darth Vader choke grip on one of the Christmas lights, and one went out. Okay, and I was like, wow, that's amazing, because I didn't think it would go out. But when I did the Darth Vader choke grip on the Christmas light, one went out. So I don't know why all of them didn't go out, but I don't know. Yeah, the Jews believe in the menorah. In the car, sit Eva in the car. Okay, Adam Michael Carr, sit Eva in the car. I was born in Bloomington, Normal, National Organization for Reform of Marijuana Laws, Illinois. Well, not in Normal, but Normal was right close by Bloomington in Illinois. Yeah, so that's interesting. Okay, Ka has potential. I went to see the drunken Chow Yun Fat and that guy with the smile from American Pie. That like ninja movie. And then he keeps saying, he goes, Ka has potential. See, Greg Gutierrez at Hardee's, well, see, let me start at the beginning. Okay, so I kind of dropped my drawers at McDonald's because I ran away from home. Well, first I wanted to go to Salt Lake City to be like, hey, guys, I kind of love Jesus and my name's kind of fucked up. I want to see the temple because I love God. And then I got pissed off and I was like, well, I got to get arrested. So I dropped my drawers at McDonald's. And then I got a job. Well, then fast forward, I finally got a job at Hardee's. And it's right around the same time the Thick Burger came out. And Paris Hilton was advertising the Thick Burger for Hardee's where I was working. She was like eating a thick burger on a hot rod. And that was pretty funny because that was like right when, like, that was the first job I got after I dropped my drawers at McDonald's. Oh yeah, so when I dropped my drawers at McDonald's, it was January 11th. Do you know what the frequency for, what is it, for not summoning, but like hearing voices from the other world? It's 111 hertz. That's what they say. That's how you, like, I don't know, scan for ghosts. 111 hertz. And I was at McDonald's on January 11th. Okay, so that's that one. Okay, where are we at? I was doing dishes at Uncle John and thought of writing a song called The Toxic City in like 2004. So Britney Spears, Toxic, System of a Down, Toxicity, and then Toxic City, which I annoyed everyone in Sioux City about. I'm gonna do this like movie about the Toxic City. It's like this place where people can go and like get a cup of coffee for like 50 cents and like unlimited refills at that. And then like it's like $1.50 for a bag of Funyuns, but that at least goes towards like the place that we all like, so we can all come together and like goof around and play music and drink coffee. Okay, all right. So so that was a Toxic City. That's the movie I wanted to write. But anyways, just pretend I didn't say this. But this is okay. So like I was saying that these people are following me, it's then the first time I said people are following me. And so there's this one time I got on my computer, or it might have been my phone, and I got on Facebook and I was like, all right, you motherfuckers, I'm gonna expose you all motherfuckers for what you did to me, because like I totally know you're fucking following me and I fucking hate you and like you won't stop, and so fuck you, I'm gonna totally just let it all go now. And then, so I typed the very first chapter of my book. And I'm like, first off, I gotta talk about the very first time I ever got high. So I wrote the first chapter of the book. And then I was like, that's a pretty good chapter. And, oh, here come the cops. Okay, this is really dangerous. It was the week before Sri Lanka. That's all I'm going to say. And then I got a letter from Israel. Well, it wasn't from Israel. It was sent to Israel and then sent to me. And they said, it's $250 if you want this letter from Israel that was sent to Israel. And then I was like, well, I don't have that money. And then Sri Lanka. So, yeah. What? I didn't say anything. Shane Gillis is my hero. And I hope someone buys back Bud Light so they get the original, so Shane Gillis can drink Bud Light. All right, David Bowie. Last time I almost got laid, Leanne. This is a chick that was married to the DJ on the local radio station. And Like, they were hanging out with some, like, they're really going, aren't they? So they were partying with some rock and roll stars, and like Leanne stabbed her husband, and then they got divorced, and then I met her. And so what happens? We were getting like, I brought some weed over. We had some Jim Beam. It's funny. We were having a good time drinking. She's a little skinnier than I am, but we had weed and like, so we're making out and shit. And then she's on her back, and I'm like, all right, baby, do you want me to? And she goes, yeah. I was like, all right, let's go to town. I go to mess with her belt, and then, and it was the cops. What happened was, they saw the weed on the ground, and I was like, shit. And they're like, yeah. Like, you got any others? I was like, yeah, I got some more in my pocket. And then he's like, all right. He's like, we need that bowl too. I'm like, all right. And the guy goes outside, and he's like, all right, so we got one bag of weed, and all right, yeah, here's your ticket. And I was like, what, you're not taking me to jail? He's like, nah, whatever. But so they laughed, and then Leanne's like, I think you should go. And I was like, oh, man. And then she's like, no, now. And I was like, oh, well, I kind of got to take a piss. And she's like, go. I didn't. And I was like, all right. So I get on my scooter, I rev it up, and the damn thing was frozen. It was frozen. The damn thing was frozen, like, all the way on. So, like, I was like, whoa. I turn it on. Whoa, here we go. It's the middle of winter. And so I'm just going. I'm, like, applying the brakes. I'm, like, going around corners and shit and stopping at stoplights. And I was like, oh, yeah, I still gotta take a piss. And I'm, like, you know, going down the streets full-blown, woo, in the middle of the night, in the middle of winter, with the frozen all the way on gas. And like I said, I really gotta take a piss, so I just let it go because, you know, I thought it'd warm me up after all. I did get home. I didn't get in a wreck. That's pretty cool. Anyway, another funny thing about that night, David Bowie died. All right, this one's cool. Brianna Germer. Brianna Germer was this girl who was not in the choir, but she was friends with, like, the theater people, but she wasn't really in the theater either. Then there's this guy named Grant Harse, I believe, or Grant Christ. It was Grant Harse. Grant Harse said, Brianna smells kind of funny. I was like, really? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, oh, I'm going to stay away from her. But she was hot. And, like, there was this one time we went over to her house and stuff. And then, like, I remember what Grant Harse said, that she smelled a little funny. And I was like, I don't know. She is kind of hot. Anyway, so this part's not funny. So I get this call in college that Brianna Germer had died, that she got hit by a car while crossing the street. And so I got really sad, and I put on Amazing Grace bagpipes. And then there's this little tear in my eye, this little like cube, and there's like somewhere in the Bible they talk about heaven as a cube or whatever, and so I had this tear, and it just stuck in my eye, my left eye, this little cube, and I just wept to Amazing Grace on the bagpipes the night Brianna Germer died. And then, so what I do, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get in my truck, or Mitsubishi Diamante, and I'm gonna go south to Des Moines, I think it's Des Moines, and then go west to Omaha, because it was Millard North. And so I drove like a while, and then I was like, fuck, I gotta go back to school. So I turned around and I went back to Des Moines, and then I went up to Ames, Iowa, the home of the very first digital computer, like years ago. And then we heard on the news that Westside Baptist Church's steeple was knocked over in a windstorm the night before. The same night that I was about to go to Omaha and then turned around. So the church I went to in Millard, Westside Baptist Church, when I drove towards it, and because I was going to put a rose on Brianna Germer's grave, but I'm retarded because she had just died and she probably wasn't buried yet. The buried notes of Armageddon. See, I had talked about that a long time ago. You can go on my Bong Radio Records thing, and it talks about the papers of Armageddon. This is the top secret information right here. Right there, man. Top bucket. Even got a little drawing on it. That's what you're getting. Paying early and expensively. Top secret. And it's just like, it's this, if you pay early and expensively, you get this. And it was like these two little tiny little pieces of paper. Like, let's think these are two little tiny pieces of paper. And it's like, if you pay early and expensively, you'll get this. So be sure to order early. And then, so that's just another thing, because that's actually a video on Bong Radio Records early on. When I found a pack of squares and pot on the street in high school in my neighborhood. Okay, so what I did, well, I just found the cigarettes, and there's a couple cigarettes in there, and there's some, and then I took it home. I was like, wow, these smell really good. And then I noticed that there was something at the bottom of the pack of cigarettes, and it was weed, or I thought so. So what I did, I was all by myself. I mean, my family, and so I took some like paper or something, but it's like, you know, line paper, and I just took the buds and I put it in the paper and I tried to roll it, and I went out back with one of those like, what are they called? The lighters for barbecues, and I lit the joint that I rolled out of notebook paper, and I think it just like kind of fell out because I didn't break it up or anything. I didn't know what I was doing. What is the point of this? Oh yeah. So then my brother showed up. They're like, "What's up, Adam?" I'm like, nothing at all. And then I went up in my room and I was like, well, I don't know, my hands kind of feel tingly. And yeah, but I still had that pack of cigarettes. And so what I did is I just left them on my little, and I just smell them every once in a while. But then my mom like found them, and I was like, Mom, I wasn't smoking them. I was just smelling them. So yeah, I kind of ran out at the end there. So, whatever. That's Creation is Impossible. Part 2. Love you guys. God bless.
I am so mad and upset at myself for... We ever gonna go bowling?
No bowling, so don't drug. That's autism.